They're cousins.
No.
Creature of the Blue Lagoon would be a crazy crossover, though.
No.
Like that story,
No.
but with the creature coming.
We have to do this and go.
Welcome back to Horror First Timers, the chilling podcast where every scream, every gasp, and every heart-pounding moment is fresh and unfiltered. Hey, it's been a while. I almost made that joke. I'm your host, Nate Martin. It's been a while. This is my fiance, Maddie Franz. She is back. You've seen her many times. She is a regular on this podcast. We have been gone for a while. It's been crazy. 2024 is done. 2025 is here. And with one of the first 2025 movies that we saw, we are talking about Wolfman by Leigh Whannell. If you guys do not know who Leigh Whannell is, he is famous for writing the Saw franchise.
Oh, no.
Him and James Wan created that. They also created Insidious, which you hate.
No.
Not in a bad way. She hates it because it's scary, because she's a pussy. And other than that, his directing career has been really good. He actually directed the third Insidious, which you definitely have not seen.
I've not even seen
But
the
it's
second.
arguably one of the best ones.
The first was so scary.
First one is very good. The second one, nah. Third one, very good. It's like a prequel.
Oh,
but
cool.
It's directed by Leigh Whannell this time. That's where, like, I know it's a sequel, but it's something that he wrote. So the studio was like, we'll give him a shot with this. We don't want to give him, like, a new thing right away.
I do like the male actor in that. What is his name?
Insidious?
Yeah. The main guy?
Patrick Wilson?
Maybe. He's in a bunch of other, like, random horror things or, like, TV shows.
Yeah, he's in The Conjuring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He plays Ed Warren.
That's the one where the wife is in the tree in the house.
It's the other, like, ghost franchise that James Wan.
But it's, like, real life kind of stuff. Like, that one I like.
It's based off of
real events.
Yeah. Yeah. But
anyway,
back to Leigh Whannell. They gave him that movie. It was really good. I don't think it made a huge splash at the box office, but critic-wise,
it's a horror movie.
Excuse me. Shouldn't have drank a soda for this. I'm fucking
a pop?
burpy.
I'm sorry. Where are you from? You bubbler ass.
They all liked it and were impressed by his direction for Insidious 3, that they gave him a chance to do like an original story and did Upgrade, which I don't think you've seen.
No.
Everyone liked it, made a lot of money. Everyone was surprised about it. Then Universal gave him The Invisible Man.
Oh.
And we saw that. That was the last movie we saw before the shutdown, before the Rona hit.
The Rona.
You can't say the C word on YouTube. I know that for sure. You cannot say the C word. That was the last movie we saw. There was not many people in the theater, I would say, because people were already like freaking out.
I feel like there's never a whole, like a chunk of people in the theater when we've seen things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you have kind of a niche taste.
Well, Marvel movies, we've been in packed theaters.
Yeah.
We keep getting sidetracked. So sorry. We're just having a really good time right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't done this in a while.
We're just excited to be here.
We're excited to be here. We missed you. Hope you missed us. Back to The Invisible Man.
Same director.
They tried. Did you know that Universal tried making like an MCU for horror? You know, the MCU, all the interconnected. Yeah, they were gonna try to do that with modern reimaginings that started with Dracula Untold, which is that. Have you seen that?
No.
It's a horror action movie with Luke Evans playing Dracula, and I actually low-key like that movie. It got a lot of hate because it's like super actiony. But they mixed the tale of Dracula that he actually was Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
So there's a whole like war going on, and he like takes on a whole army by himself and turns into like a whole horde of bats. It's so badass. We should actually watch it sometime because it's not scary.
It's not cheesy though either, right?
I think you might find it a little cheesy, but it's
like a classic cheesy.
It's like a Marvel movie, but with Dracula.
Okay.
And set back in the day, you know?
Honestly.
But it's not like funny. It's not
Are there
like
other
humorous.
Universal monsters in it?
But
no?
okay, so that was their plan because at the end, that movie obviously takes place in whatever century Vlad the Impaler was alive.
Yeah.
The very end of that movie, spoiler warning for everything that I'm talking about in this video. I'm sorry.
Just go see it.
Mainly just Wolfman, but I am going to spoil the ending of Dracula Untold right now, but that came out in like 2000 whatever.
You've had time. It's 2025.
The very end of that, it jumps to modern day.
Oh.
And you know how Dracula, like, throughout centuries will, like, always be pulled towards someone that reminds him of, like, an old love, or like the main love interest in the book, the novel Dracula.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happens because his wife dies in the movie. So it jumps to modern day and he's still living, and it kind of just teases that, like, okay, like, he's in modern day now. They could do something. I forget what it is, but there is, like, a tease about, like, other dark forces in the world and shit.
When people go modern
it's a little cheesy, but the rest of the movie is great. I think you would like it. So Universal wanted to bring everyone together somehow, giving them their own movies, you know, classic Universal monsters.
Yeah.
And then have them culminate somehow with, I don't know, like a Van Helsing movie or something. That would be sick.
That would be sick, actually.
So then they did The Mummy, which was the first movie. They they remade The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
No, okay.
Yeah, it's a remake of that and the classic Boris Karloff one.
What?
But it's in this modern day universe that, like, is
called
the Dark Universe, and it came out in like 2017. They made The Mummy a chick, which is actually kind of badass. She looks fucking scary and really cool in it. But they just turned it into a Tom Cruise action movie.
Oh,
and then they had a side plot that was like their version of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No.
And it was headed by Russell Crowe.
Oh, no.
Playing Dr. Jekyll.
And Mr. Hyde.
And Mr. Hyde. He literally turned into Mr. Hyde and got, like, stronger and, like, a little beefier. It's weird. And this department that he, like, headed was, like, for the supernatural. And there was, like, teases on the wall for, like, the creature and the Wolfman and stuff like that.
That feels very League of Extraordinary
Okay,
Gentlemen.
so obviously the movie flopped. The movie flopped
I've never
hard.
heard of it.
And they actually had other movies already in development, and they just canceled them because it was so, like, they didn't make any they didn't make any money. The critics were bad on it. The reviews were bad on it, which is, like, understandable. But guess what? They had, correct me if I'm wrong, I'll put a picture up. They had like a press photo, like, promoting. They already had people cast in these movies. And they did, like, a picture of, like, this is a tease for the new Dark Universe. It was Tom Cruise and I forget the actress's name, but the girl who played the mummy in The Mummy. She was in the picture. They had Johnny Depp, who was going to play the Invisible Man.
Incredible.
So that movie was canceled in favor for Lee Winnell. We'll get back to Lee Winnell in just a second, in favor for his modern reimagining. But they also had Javier Bardem cast as the monster from Frankenstein.
Stop.
Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein.
No, Frankenstein is the man, not the monster.
I don't understand.
It's Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so his monster is Frankenstein's monster.
I know, but we all call him Frankenstein. It's like the Bride of Frankenstein.
No.
Yes.
No.
Because there's Frankenstein and there's the Bride
We're not
of Frankenstein.
getting into this. Frankenstein is the man.
We know that.
Not the monster.
We know, but he named his monster vainly after his own self. And so the monster is also Frankenstein. When you see a cartoon of a green guy with bolts hanging out his side of his head, it's Frankenstein.
Meh. They were also in talks to having ScarJo be the female lead in a Creature from the Black Lagoon, which would have been sick.
Hell yeah.
That one I was actually, like, kind of stoked on.
You also, like, low-key
They
love
also were talking about possibly having Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson play Wolfman.
I could see it.
That's where I was like, I drew the line. I'll let you know right now, I am a huge Wolfman fan. I got the OGs right here. I even love the 2010 remake with Benicio del Toro. That movie kicks ass.
You love everything Wolfman.
Yeah, that movie has effects by Stan Winston, who did An American Werewolf in London.
You also love
It's
that movie.
sick.
Yeah.
I just love werewolves in general. But the idea of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson being a Wolfman?
Totally. Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
That aligns with like the Twilight wolf people.
I feel like it would be too cheesy. You wouldn't play it serious enough. The Wolfman's got to be played tragic.
Yeah, he definitely plays
He's
it more.
cursed.
I kind of like the humor behind it though.
I don't know. We'll get to it. But
so
that talking about the dark universe, it failed on arrival. First movie done. They even had a tease they had so many teases at the end of it. Never going to see anything else made for it. They even had, you know how the MCU has an intro?
Yeah.
With the song that we sing every time it plays? Yeah, they did one for Dark Universe, for The Mummy, and it was it was like a dark reimagining of the regular Universal intro. Mm-hmm. But then it had the words Dark Universe.
They should have just done it.
So fucking lame. So that failed, and then Lee Winnell got involved somehow to make a modern reimagining of The Invisible Man, and that movie kicks ass.
That movie is scary and good at the same time. It has
great tension.
Yeah. No.
Some great jump scares. Yes.
Lee Winnell?
Yes. Great tension.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his jump scares are very unique. They're not like... They make you think a regular jump scare is going to happen, and then he does it a different way.
It doesn't come from that corner that you're looking at waiting for the jump scare to happen.
That's another thing. He makes you look at that corner,
and then
but he doesn't give it to you. He makes you wait,
yeah.
And then and then he just fucking knocks you on the head and says, I got you.
Sneaky.
So he did that movie. That movie was awesome. Then he got Wolfman, and obviously my brain was like, this is going to be the best movie ever.
And we'll get into that for sure, if it was the best movie or not.
And I'll just say it right now. I liked it.
It was fine.
It was fine. It was fine.
You also said it.
I will agree with her.
It
was fine.
Was fine.
I loved a lot about it, but the end result, it just didn't hit me the way I wanted it to. I don't think I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't think. I don't know if my expectations were just so high.
Well, you also love Wolfman, though.
I know, but there was just some things in it that I was like,
nah, it's not as interesting as you were hoping it was going to be.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just some points of dialogue, too, where I'm like, we get it, bro. But I don't know. There is more stuff that I like about it that I don't like about it. And on my Letterboxd review, I gave it a 3.5. So that's
out of what? 5?
No, I just gave it a 3. So I gave it a 6 out of 10, essentially. Yeah, 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
three stars out of 5. Yeah.
It's okay. It literally is. It's like pretty good. It's just not as hyped as I thought it was going to be. Like, I feel like it got hyped up more than
that sucks
it
because the original release date was
last year.
Was October 2024, and I think it would have killed.
Oh, it would have been way better
in the Halloween season.
Yeah.
Like, do minimal marketing. It's Halloween. People are gonna go see something
Base
scary.
A costume off of it or something.
Like, no matter what it is, it's gonna do somewhat good in the month of October if it's a horror movie.
That's like the only month we actually watch horror movies together, really.
Yeah. And I mean, that's where we watch the Universal monster movies too, just to throw on in the background, because we don't even need to watch them. They're just awesome. They're the vibes, you know?
Well, that's also what I was expecting Wolfman to be, and it didn't end up being that way.
You should have known better, because it was Lee Winnell, and he did a modern reimagining.
Lee Winnell is.
He did the Invisible Man, and that's very different from the original one.
It also was very different than what I was expecting when we saw that.
Okay.
We'll get into it.
We need to actually start talking about this movie.
And go.
So picture yourself. We just got out of the theater. Initial thoughts. What were your first impressions of the movie as the credits rolled?
Oh, it was scarier than I thought it was going to be and more boring than I thought it was going to be all at the same time.
Explain yourself.
Okay. So, see, I like the old school, like, Universal Monster kind of stuff. Like, that isn't super duper scary to me. But, like, I find that, like, as a non, like, horror aficionado kind of type, like, all horror movies kind of look the same to me. And it looked like a horror movie when we got in there. And I was like, nah, that takes away the fantasy of Wolfman. It just made it too normal, like, to everyday life.
Yeah.
And then I was like...
I think it made perfect sense once they got out into the P&W, though.
We could see everything that was happening from like a mile away, though. Like, it was so predictable, unfortunately. Like, we knew that he was going to get scratched. We knew he was going to get bit. Like, the scares were scary. Like, I definitely jumped. But at the same time, like, it was super, super predictable.
And boring?
A little boring. Like, it
How
went
so?
on longer than it needed to.
I will say there were some parts that dragged on.
Yeah, the in-betweens of all the action scenes were definitely...
It's like an hour and 40 minutes. I think there's a really good hour and 20-minute movie there.
I do need a break between scary things, but at the same time, like, it just moves so slowly.
Yeah. In my review, like, the scary parts are scary. They're good. Like, on Letterboxd.
Follow them on Letterboxd.
Don't do that. I'm getting fucking off track now. God damn it.
Letterboxd.
The cold open of the movie.
I don't remember it.
It's when he's a kid.
Oh, and his dad.
And
the deer.
And they're just looking, and the sun goes off.
I was so scared.
He goes off by himself, and he's looking through the scope.
He's by himself.
That I think is one of the best scares.
I think the scope
just when he's looking through the scope
was way scarier.
And then all of a sudden you just see the silhouette, and you're like, oh shit! Like that's a fucking wolf.
It's like a Squatch kind of moment. Like
you can tell it's a wolf man. Just it has that classic figure.
Yeah.
Because what you'll come to know is whatever Wolfman that was is not the same one in this movie.
No.
Yeah, it's different.
I was expecting like
person.
A stereotypical Wolfman. I think that's why I was partly bored, where it was like a human that is now like kind of a wolf.
Yeah. And then the rest of that cold open, I think is great when they run to that deer stand.
It's a little cheesy though, also. Like the dad and
But no, the scary part is when they're fucking, you can hear the Wolfman going up the stairs. You can
see the breath.
And you just see the breath.
Ooh.
That had me like...
I was like, when is it going to happen? Ooh. They're going to scare the shit out of us somehow. I don't know how, but they're going to do it.
Yeah. But I will say, so what I was saying, the scary parts are scary. I loved them. There was a lot of parts towards the end too where I was like, oh, this is ramping up, down. You know, like this is ramping up.
Yeah.
But I feel like the scenes in between, which some
long.
of them are good, were a little long and felt a little like too quiet. You know, it was like what's happening? Like, come on.
No, it was kind of a nice contrast though, because like the action scenes were so loud, especially in a theater.
I'm not saying take them all out. I'm just saying there were some that I was like...
It's kind of a nice break.
I was like...
But it went on for
they were
long.
Good breaks. I really liked the scenes that transitioned from his point of view and how he heard and saw stuff.
It was so sad.
It was very heartbreaking. That's another thing. This movie is so very sad. So, according to Maddie, it's sad, it's boring, but it is scary.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's it.
It's scary.
That's why we're right there.
We got 1 out of 3. Positive thing.
I just don't like to be jump scared.
It's okay. It's fine.
Tone. It's fine. You'll be fine.
Tone and atmosphere. Did the film's atmosphere feel effectively like eerie and immersive to you?
It was just another horror movie. Like it had that stereotypical like way they film horror movies and like how they kind of feel when you go into them, where it's like if you're going into a normal movie and you're expecting it to feel and look a certain way, it feels and looks that kind of way. Whereas like horror movies all kind of like have almost like eerie but like clear kind of nature to them, where you're expecting to be scared, but also like you can see everything so clearly at the same time. I don't even know. Like all horror movies like kind of look the same.
I would debate that, but I get what you're saying though. Like a lot of modern horror movies.
Yeah.
A lot, like especially
like Get Out.
Won't name names, but like
Hereditary.
Blumhouse movies all look the same. Like they all look like they have the same cinematographer.
Well, and it's like it doesn't have the same like kind of plot and coloring that like other cinematic.
This is a big budget movie. You know, it's gonna look a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the atmosphere during his transformation scenes were good, but it doesn't really have that same. It doesn't have that same feeling throughout the whole thing. You know? Yeah. Talking about the transformation, how did you feel about those scenes, and were they what you expected?
Not at all what I expected, because I was like looking for the stereotypical Wolfman, like the hair and like the teeth and like the face and whatever, and like the paws of like the whole wolf thing.
We're gonna get into my big problem right now.
Like he just looked like a man with deformities and a little extra hair and teeth. You know what I mean? Like he was scary. He was almost there. But hold on, I was bored because I was like, that's all we're building up to in this movie? That's the Wolfman?
Okay. I agree. Okay. I'm talking to you guys now. So the biggest thing that kind of turned me off and made it a solid 3 out of 5 for me was that we didn't get to 10 out of 10. That's a fucking Wolfman.
No, not at all. That's like, a wolf. No, that's a human with extra hair.
I went into it. I knew that it was going to be more body horror than a werewolf movie,
which is fine.
So I knew the transformation was going to look different, and I knew it was going to look painful. It was going to look like a disease. One of the biggest influences was The Fly by David Cronenberg with Jeff Goldblum. That movie is a tragic tale of like him performing an experiment, and then his DNA crosses with the fly. Whoa. So he's slowly changing into like a fly human hybrid. And as the movie goes on, he just keeps getting grosser and grosser. And in Wolfman, he starts losing nails. His teeth are falling out. He gets like he starts gnawing on his own wounds. The face
deformity.
Yeah, it's gross. It looks painful. It looks diseased.
Oh,
and I was
like the ribs too.
Yeah,
remember that scene?
And I was down with it. I already knew it was gonna be like that. But the final end product, I thought we were at least gonna get a full hairy, like modern recreation of this guy.
His dad looked hairier than he did even. Sorry, spoiler.
Spoiler, we already said it 5 times. The other werewolf is his dad.
It is. I'm sorry.
It's very obvious.
It's also so predictable.
In the first scene, not the first scene, but in the cold open. They deliberately show his tattoo. It's a reveal later on. I'm so sorry.
So easy to call though.
But we said spoiler like 6 times already. So
also, why are you watching this?
Don't be mad, man. But yeah, his dad was hairier, even though his face looks stupider.
Probably. I mean, the faces. I didn't love.
He had like weird. He still had like chin hair.
Yeah.
He looked like a hillbilly, fucking werewolf. Mid transformation.
They could have done I love the practical, but they could have done better with the actual.
The practical stuff was great. Some of the stuff, I don't know how they did. Because I read that it was in camera. Nothing was like CGI. Everything was filmed on camera. Which is crazy because there was some weird hand stuff. Like his nail would pop out and you would see the claw coming out under it.
I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch the nail pop off.
He started getting more like the teeth. His jaw like came unhinged.
How did
and
that
he had
rib thing do that? When he shoveled his whole insides too? That had to be
just crazy shit. And he had like the outline of a cool werewolf. If they just added more hair and gave him like a little bit more feature in the face, I think. Yeah. So the fact that we didn't get there, because we did have a cool transformation scene. There was a cool end scene when he's chasing, because he's fully lost it now. He's in the full transformation. His mind is gone. Not him anymore. He's chasing his wife and daughter into the barn. I think that scare is also really, really good because they're looking in the corner. They know he's in the barn, but they don't know where he fucking is.
But he can see
them
then fully.
It does the cool camera trick where it goes from behind them and goes and changes perspective, and all of a sudden it changes to his perspective, with the night vision, and he's right fucking there in front of them.
They don't see him though.
He's right fucking there, and it's also sad in that scene too, because he's so far gone that their faces are distorted.
It's sad.
You can't make it out.
It's so
He can't tell it's them.
They just look like figures. Yeah.
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 But then he gets caught in a fucking bear trap. And then the movie just turned into Lee Winnell doing Saw again. And the fucking Wolfman just chewed his leg off. And I thought that was actually pretty badass.
I think it was good gore.
It was good gore. He ripped his leg off with his own mouth. His teeth.
Gross.
And then the way he was fucking charging after them
the way he's
was terrifying.
He was crawling.
He was crawling, but then he started almost galloping like a dog, like a wolf or a dog, and
terrifying.
It's
not great. It's like a quality scene. Definitely watch it. It's not like
that was cool. It would have been so much cooler if he was full Wolfman.
Yeah.
Especially if he was full Wolfman.
I feel like that's what made it such like a 6 out of 10 kind of thing. Is like it had so much potential.
Yeah.
And then like the wolf didn't look like a wolf, and like the in between scenes were too long. I just lost attention.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was so sad though.
Yeah, I want to talk about that with the characters. Did you find yourself connecting with any of them at all?
I like wanted to be like in their family, as far as like the mom like kicked ass but felt bad about not being present. Like I saw that so much like reflected in like things.
I think
and, like,
they
the dad was
really
the stay-at-home dad, and like they had such a connection, but then he died and she was forced. Sorry, spoiler.
That's how the movie ends, yeah.
But like I love that she was forced to almost have that relationship with her mom because of like the trauma bond that happened because the dad.
Yeah.
But I miss like
the underlying theme of this movie is generational trauma, essentially.
Kind of. Yeah, I could see that from his dad for sure.
Like he got it from his dad, and then he would like overreact, and he would try to catch himself.
But he
and
was
be
trying
like,
to like break those generational problems.
That's what I'm saying. That's what it is. Like trying to break.
It's just
like,
sad that like
something that you learned from your parents and them from theirs and shit like that.
It's like a little bit tragic that he just ended up that way, you know?
It is.
At the same time.
And it also has I feel like some themes that regarding Alzheimer's.
Oh, I could see that.
Like you're just losing yourself.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
And you have there's nothing you can do. There's no fucking cure.
No.
Not in this universe.
No. That's why.
There's no like silver blade thing from Van Helsing.
Well, and the daughter always does like the I can read your mind thing, and like it calmed him when he was.
Oh yeah, it would calm him. It would calm her. He would be like, "What am I thinking? Because I know you can read my mind."
And she'd be like,
"He's like, I love
my daddy.
I love my dad."
Or like something about my little girl.
Like daddy's here to protect his little girl. It's essentially, I love you. You love me. We're here for each other. And
I think like when he was transforming into the wolf, he definitely understood that that was his daughter because of that thing that they had.
Yeah.
Oh, how is it so scary and so boring and so sad all at the same time? You almost like during that scene hope he doesn't get scratched. Like he's just trying to save his family and get to this place, and then almost later when he did get scratched, I was almost disappointed because I wanted more Wolfman to come and get him in a different kind of way rather than like
because he did get attacked a second time through the fucking dog door.
I did love though how they came back to how it started, like in the deer.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
The deer hut. What do you call that?
It's like a deer stand.
Deer stand. Yeah, they're in the deer stand, but instead of it being his dad and him, it's the mom and the daughter.
Yeah, and he actually comes over.
Yeah.
And that's another part where it looks really bad because this breaks werewolf lore, and once you turn, you're just a werewolf.
Yeah.
Like you're just there. You don't turn back. So like the opening scene, it's in the middle of the day when he sees that werewolf in the scope, the Wolfman in the scope. That's in the middle of the fucking day. So
that's
it does transition from like night to morning when they're in the deer blind and the deer stand.
Yeah.
And since he doesn't look the way I want him in the bright daylight, it looks. I'm just.
You were also saying that you liked like how they came up with their own lore instead of like it's a.
I did like that. He said it in interviews before. He's like, you're basically like breaking it, just breaking the lore and making your own thing. That's what they had like the whole title card in the beginning of the movie say. Forget word for word, but essentially says there's like a disease or something that can go around, a plague.
Yeah.
And it's called like the wolf plague or the dog plague.
Oh, the dog or I can't remember.
Face
like
of the wolf.
Disease.
Here,
yeah, face of the
this
wolf.
probably says. This actually doesn't. Oh. Hikers vanishing in the remote mountains of Oregon sparks speculation about a virus linked to the region's wildlife.
I guess the wolf.
Yeah,
that
and
deputy
it's called
or
something
right?
like that. Yeah.
And
then
his dad got caught with the disease.
after he sees the wolf man with his dad, he goes downstairs and his dad is talking to someone over the radio saying like, I saw it.
It's real.
It's real. I saw it. It like came for me and my boy. I'm gonna fucking kill it. Brr.
I appreciate that he's trying to break that generational trauma of like being raised like that and militant from his dad. Like the character development of the movie, I would give like an 8 out of 10 for sure, like higher.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like there were so many other little things that made it like 6.
Yeah.
Like the relationship with his dad and like the leading back to his dad was obviously like a little bit obvious.
Yeah. And actually, it has a lot in common with the 2010 Wolfman. Because Anthony Hopkins in that movie, who plays Benicio del Toro's dad, is the one that turned him. Same one in this one. It's like.
But it's also like he broke that generational curse by not turning his daughter. Which is also kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like he broke that because somebody gave it to his dad and his dad gave it to him.
He was about to fucking kill them, and then like his wife and daughter got a good look at him, and the daughter was like, he's sick. He doesn't want to be alive.
See,
he's hurting.
I felt a useless character.
He's in pain. He needs to die.
You know that neighbor with the gun that they end up killing?
Yeah.
When they first pull back in, and it's like, I feel like he was such a useless fucking character. Why did we need that bit in there?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably just to give,
like the Wolfman got him,
like probably just to give him a victim, you know.
And then like he showed him where. Why didn't he remember where his dad's property was? He grew up there.
Yeah, but he got out as soon as he could. I don't know. I guess it was only like no. This says it was 30 years later.
Yeah. I don't know, because it felt like it was supposed to be eerie and creepy and like they were going to get murdered by this tree stand guy and he was actually a wolf that was going to transform at any moment kind of thing.
Yeah, I could see that too. Like, what if he's the wolf man?
And then it was like...
And they fucking... that scare with them like talking and then all of a sudden they see the wolf man in the middle of the road and get veered off. That was a good scare.
Ooh, that was so scary. Are you kidding me?
That was a good scare.
I could throw up thinking about it.
It was just a quick shot and he's like...
Human.
He's human. He has like the fucking
so human
coveralls on, essentially.
See, I'm tearing
but
up
you
a
just
bit.
see,
so
you just
scary.
see the fucking like wolf-like face.
You don't even. It's like so startling. It's so quick. It's
and
like,
then they just go right off.
And then
that's
accident.
a cool shot too, because the camera is like on the back of the truck when it's going.
Yeah.
And it just like goes off the side of the road and
first you're scared
on
already
side.
because this random guy in this tree stand is trying to direct you to your own driveway that you grew up in.
And then Lee Winnell just hits you with some of that classic tension and I gotcha.
Yuck.
So there's so many good parts in this movie, but it's so just
but
okay.
it's so
God
it's
damn it.
literally
God
so
damn
okay.
it.
It could have been so good.
We gotta keep going. I skipped a couple questions just because we've pretty much already answered them.
Crushed it.
Regarding like a modern update, how did this movie compare to expectations of classic werewolf movies? And I just want to point out the last time you were on this show was a werewolf movie.
I don't know what Werewolf by Night.
No, it was.
No, is that a different movie? I'm sorry.
We did not watch Werewolf by Night on here because we've seen that before.
What did we watch?
Bad Moon.
Oh no.
With the dog Thor.
It was fine, right?
That movie kicks ass.
Does it?
Yeah, it's like B movie 90s awesome werewolf movie where the dog is the main character and has the Dennis the Menace kid.
Was the dog supposed to be the werewolf kind of character?
No, he was the protector of the family. Remember the uncle?
Movies go in one ear and out the other.
Oh my goodness. We already pretty much gave away the ending, but let's just reiterate. How did you feel about the ending? Was it satisfying, shocking, or something else?
Lame.
You thought it was lame?
Maybe
So just be clear, the ending is the daughter and the wife are in the deer blind. He comes up. They see that he's in pain. He's about to lunge at them, but they just shoot him. They shoot him like right in the fucking chest or in the face. I can't remember, but he goes flying back and they have a few words and look at him and he dies. And then the movie ends with them walking through the wilderness and seeing the beautiful view of the PNW that he used to see as a kid. Like he talked about it early on.
I low-key kind of loved that. And I knew
and it was nice and
though.
sunny, and it was such a beautiful shot of
it
them
was
walking.
So predictable though.
Just like him dying.
No, like the whole like obviously in the beginning when him and his dad are out staring at the same like scenic view, you're like, that's where the movie's ending.
You thought that in the moment?
Yeah, are you kidding me? Yeah. I
didn't
like,
think that at all.
The reason why they're looking at this is either for the lore.
Yeah.
They're either going to tell the creepy story about the wolf in the mountain or something at this spot, or it's going to end there in a sentimental kind of way. I knew that easy.
And she thinks she doesn't like movies. She gets movies.
I just
only
have
in
ADHD.
only in some ways though.
I just can predict endings.
So just to wrap things up, would you recommend it? Based on your experience, is this a movie you'd recommend to someone else and why?
It's like not my top 3 to 5 wolf movies. Like I would suggest the original Wolfman before I would suggest this one. Like if you're a horror person and you like wolf things, aka this guy right here, yes, I would suggest it. But if you're like a normal person, I'm like, I literally was talking about this with a coworker the other day. I was like, well, yeah, I could have rented it.
Yeah.
I definitely could have rented it and watched it at home and been as disappointed as I was.
Yeah.
Like, it had so much potential.
It did.
And then it just didn't follow through.
So
Invisible Man though, watch that one.
Yeah, that one kicks ass.
Scary.
I do have a feeling, I don't know. I think Blumhouse might have gotten into this a little bit. I don't know if he was rushed or something.
Is
with
that the
this movie.
company?
Yeah, it's Blumhouse. They're the big one.
Like A24, but for other
it's like
things.
A24 for horror, you could say.
Okay.
But I think Blumhouse has a little bit more of their hands in the pot than A24 does, because A24 they just let their directors do whatever they want.
Good.
They give
So
them
I feel
they give them final cut, they give them everything. I think Blumhouse is more of like,
This one
we
kinda
want it to be this way.
marinated
We
more.
want this. And like they'll let you do your thing, but they'll still have like a final say. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from them. Don't think it's true.
like halfway
it could be
between,
true.
like,
yeah.
Disney and
But I don't know.
fucking
I don't know. I feel like he could have done better, and I think something prevented him from doing that. But I think what's really killing it right now is it's a January movie. People are going to hate it regardless because they just have this assumption that that's where they dump bad movies, you know? The only other movies out right now is like Presence, which is getting mediocre review. I actually really liked it. Flight Risk is getting terrible reviews.
Is
The
that the one
new
with Mark Wahlberg?
the Mark Wahlberg.
Oof.
And it's directed by Mel Gibson.
And fucking what's his nuts?
Topher Grace,
Yes.
Eric
Yes.
Foreman, dumbass. It's also Venom in Spider-Man 3. And then it's just different. It's a different type of werewolf movie that breaks lore all over the place.
I also think they tried something original, which is refreshing.
But this is what I'm trying to get at. I think
but it didn't follow
because
through.
it's original and refreshing and stuff in ways, they didn't hit the mark 100%.
Yeah.
I do think in like 5 years' time, people will look back and be like, "Oh, that's like a good like movie to throw on.
I
It's
could
a
see
good
that.
B movie."
Yeah.
Like, because there's tons of stuff to enjoy.
Just like give it time to breathe a little bit.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff to enjoy. But there's right now, I think it's just, I don't know. just so different that it's
also kind of a weird.
It turns me off each way, but I do want to watch it again.
That body horror coming after like the Substance body horror is.
Yeah, it's nowhere near The Substance. It's nowhere near The Thing.
Did we ever do a podcast on either of those?
No.
We should though, because we both saw Substance and was like,
yeah,
whoa.
It's nowhere near It's nowhere near The Fly, even though that's its biggest influence. But
they tried.
It was
definitely.
I liked it. I will still champion Lee Winnell because he did a thing, and I enjoyed it enough that literally whatever he does next, I will go see.
Yeah, you love Wolfman so much that I was like.
That's why I was let down too, because I'm just a mega fan. But it was good. Just not as good as I wanted it to be.
Admitting you have a problem.
Yeah. So that's it. How do we end these things? It's been a while. It's been literally since October.
Thanks so much for watching. Please follow us on all of the socials.
Follow us? Yes. Saying it like she's a part of this thing.
I basically am at this point. I'm like,
I don't fucking make money. It's not.
Hey, where are you located?
I'm on Letterboxd as Tugboats _SOS, which is Tugboat Salon of Stuff. I post daily movie reviews. In 2024, I watched 521 movies.
Whoa.
Yeah. And there's a review for every single one of them.
In case you forgot, there's only 364 days in a year.
And 155 of them were movies that came out in 2024.
Wow.
Yeah. And I have lists for all of those if you want to see like my rankings on them. I'm also posting the same type of stuff on Instagram, which is the same handle, Tugboat Salon of Stuff. I'm posting right now just my ranking of from 155 or 150 all the way down to my favorite movie of the year. And if you don't want to wait for all those posts to come out, you can just go on Letterboxd and see it for yourself because I don't have any. It's not like a countdown. Like it's there if you want to go see it. YouTube, it's not Tugboat Salon Stuff. It's Horror First Timers.
Nice.
So you can just find all the episodes here. I got a playlist of all the other episodes. We'll have on the next episode, it'll be The Wicker Man, which we actually recorded a couple months ago, and we just have not gotten to.
But also, if you have any movie suggestions that you would like to see Tugboat cover in the Salon of Stuff or for Horror First Timers, like we would love to hear about it.
Yeah, give me movie recommendations. I mean, we got tons of movies. I usually just make her pick off the wall, but I would love to see recommendations of movies I haven't seen either, because I think this was a fun episode because, like, I got to, I don't know, kind of geek out with you about our reactions.
Well, we also both got to see it for the first time together.
That's what I'm saying, because we saw it together for the first time, I was more like, this is going to be awesome. Instead of me already knowing everything about it because I'm a fucking nerd and just being like, well, so what'd you think, babe?
Accurate. That's kind of fun.
No, you can't think that because I think a different way. Because I like this movie, but it's fine.
If you have any suggestions, leave them down below, please.
Put it down in the comments section. We are going to end the podcast right now because we've gone so long without doing anything productive. Fucking love you. Goodbye.